want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the scholar of boxing.
See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. You've dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
Cruiser 5 to 50 be advised, County Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
Brothers, when you talk to your brothers, you know the first thing they tell you? What? Stay away from religion, stay away from politics. Okay. You know why? No matter what the you say, somebody passionately disagrees with you. Absolutely. No matter what religion, you believe in Allah, then you're saying that's not the right way. You believe in every Christianity, that's not it, because they're choosing something different. Your political party, the Democrat, Republican, the disagreement completely. Yep. So I stay away from it. When I get pulled into politics, I go, yeah. And I have nothing to say. I'm just looking. The same way we are. We don't no politics, none of this. I don't with that. I don't stay there because I'm still entertainment. If it's not music, then it's film and television, but it's still entertainment. So why would you turn someone off by saying that? Right. I want everybody to enjoy what I'm doing. Right. Not just a selective few amount of people. I focus on diversity because it's needed. Right.
The boxing scholar is a lover, not a fighter, but he's also a fighter, so don't get any ideas. If he pats you on the back, you'll put it in your resume. His enemy. Have him listed as an emergency contact. The scholar has an inside joke with complete strangers. If he punched you in the face, you'd have to fight the urge not to thank him. Sharks have a week dedicated to him. He's the only man alive to is parallel park. A train is count to infinity twice. In Genesis, when God said, "Let there be light," the scholars said, "Say pretty please." He is the genius of all genius and master of all masters.
And that's the trick to life. You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's.
Yo, the boxing scholar's on.
What's good, everybody? It's the Genius, man. I don't want to yell because my little bad went up, so y'all got to annoy the Batman noises y'all going to be hearing in the background and stuff like that. He over there playing. See? So just ignore that. Just focus on my brothers and sisters. We must stay focused, brothers and sisters. We must stay focused.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused, brothers. Damn all that. Just
Okay. So a couple things we're going to address today. I got a good one for you. We're going to talk about Tank. You know what I mean? Hopefully press pull up, Amir. Wait, Amir, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with that Jamel Charlo shirt? Cause I gotta clean my shoes, but I can't find nothing that's worthy of cleaning that mud up off my stuff. So you still got that shirt? I bought off you, sister. If you still got that, you still got that Jamel Charlo shirt. Oh my God, Jamel Charlo, that is crazy. When I think about Jamel Charlo, you know what comes to mind?
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop de do. We go to prison.
He would not fight. Fight back, do something, man. Did you at least peach the? That's crazy. Bud, Bud, Bud went in there and did what he wouldn't do. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, Tank did, fellas. Everybody know that on this channel, Shakur gets a lot of slander from me. I gotta give Shakur a ton of credit for, you know, at least acting like he wants to pursue the fight, and chasing the fight, big money fight with Tank, and at least conversating about it, because Tank clearly wants no parts of him. He gets mad when people ask him questions about it. Now he gets mad at people asking him questions about the fight with Roach. It's crazy. Somebody said this fight is a joke. Well, let me tell you something about this joke, brother. In the sport of boxing, Butterbean had a career. We all know who he is, 400 pounds, and he actually fought Larry Holmes, who was a serious contender. It's always been this type of climate in boxing that existed. So as long as you got a product, people gonna show up and buy it. And what's up, Angie? And people gonna show up and buy this product. It is what it is. But Jake Paul versus Tank. Listen, I ain't gonna call for no boycott. Because I boycott every fight. Team 5-stick, baby. Team 5-stick over here. You already know what we do over here. Bro, I think my account is hacked. Every time I come in here and I put a picture on, it always switches to whatever picture that it wants to switch to. That's crazy, man. I did not switch it to that Bud picture. This episode had nothing to do with Bud. That's crazy work right there. But so let's get into this. Let's get into this reaction video, because I got a bunch of them. We're gonna react to Mayweather. We're gonna react to a lot. Hold on. Give me a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get one of my panelists to pull up. He might be busy right now because he ain't used to me going live early. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call him. Give me a second or two. If he don't answer, then if he don't answer, then we're gonna have to go ahead and react without him.
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop de do. We go to prison.
You know what's funny about that clip besides the whoop-de-doo? That they didn't even blank out the cuss word. Like, they blanked out the word after the cuss word. Whoop-de-doo.
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop de do. We go to prison.
So, yeah, that's pretty answer. Hey, look, what y'all don't know is the channel is getting bigger. We getting responses from big people. And Terence Crawford actually gave me a snippet. It was a snippet because he heard what I was saying about him rooting for Canelo. So he ain't give me a full interview, but he gave me a little snippet. So this is what he gave me. He gave me permission to show it to you guys. So check this out. This is Bud's response to the Canelo fight in the breakdown.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Hey, I'm finna go crazy with that clip right there. I'm telling you, when somebody get beat up in the ring, if Tank gets stretched by Jake Paul, you gonna hear the Jet 2 holiday playing the entire. Well, whoop-de-doo. You know what I'm? Oh my God, I'm going. Hey, bro. Hey, relax. See what I mean? It's always one amongst us. Abir said, I'm glad we have Bud to represent the black community because Tank has failed us. Tank ain't ever been a representation of anybody but itself, to be fair to Tank. Tank has always been selfish. I mean, we know about his car crash with that, pregnant chick and how he responded to that. Tank don't give a damn about nobody. That's why it's really befitting that he got Floyd Mayweather to represent him. So yeah, it is what it is on that front. I ain't even turn on my music, man. I'm tripping. Whoop-de-doo. Give me 1 second. I'm back. My bad. He said, "Is this real? Yeah, it's real, bro. This is a legitimate fight, bro. Jake Paul versus Tank." And when I tell you the size difference in the two, just look like it. The size difference was a representation of the fight. Whenever they got there and Jake Paul does his weird karate standoff pose, like kind of like a Conor McGregor. Whenever he did that, and the optics wise, you were like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be a circus." But maybe it'll be like, like a I hate to say it, like a car crash, and people can't take their eyes off of it. I mean, if Jake Paul ends up stretching Gervonta Tank Davis, I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like that's not gonna be historical. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I don't care if it's exhibition, if it count, if it don't, it's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be epic because what happens is he got the bump from Mayweather. And, a lot of people on the internet was comparing him to Allen Iverson. We already know where he got that comparison from. Everybody know that Scholar was the first one to say that, right? But they were saying he's like the AI of boxing, which is what I originally started. And I talked about how AI had that. He just had that. He had that, what the French call it, je ne sais quoi, where the kids wanted to be like him, the women wanted him, and the men looked up to him. And that's what make a popular person in the sport of boxing. That's what all the superstars, Muhammad Ali, that's all what they possessed, right? And Tank had it, he was captivating. And then they didn't help it. I mean, it added to him that he had power. So he was able to, be like flashy, like neon, something that's going to attract people to his fights, and not be a boring fight. So he had all of that. He just didn't do anything with it. Like, Lamont Roach was supposed to be a cherry pick. He struggled in that fight, and then he just fell off of a cliff, And like I said, he got the Mayweather bump. He just ain't. I don't think he's going to be able to take it to the next level. Gervonta Davis right now they always talk about fight potential and what a fighter could do inside the ring. He has the potential outside the ring to really, really be the next superstar in boxing, but he'll never live up to it because of fights like this. Because there's no positive outcome for him in that fight. Same way with Canelo and Bud. I was saying it's all reward for Bud and all risk for Canelo because Canelo's not going to gain anything if he wins. It's the same thing with Gervonta Tank Davis. Anything short of a knockout. Now, if he knocks Jake Paul out, everybody in boxing will start cheering, ding dong, the witches, they'll be on that type of time. But anything short of a knockout of Jake Paul is going to be a failure. He goes to a decision. They're going to say it's scripted. They're going to say Gervonta Tank Davis is a disgrace to boxing. Why is he agreeing to fixed fight? I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy for Gervonta Tank Davis. This is why you don't take fights like this. Because when Canelo was warned about this and took the fight with Bud Crawford, we already seen how it ended, right? Terence Bud Crawford's hand was raised. Now Canelo, talk about, I feel like a champion at heart. I feel like I would be. No. We ain't giving no participation trophies. You should have thought about the risk when you was taking it. Put the rematch clause in there. Do something, But you wouldn't took that. And it's the same thing for Gervonta Tank Davis. Anything less of a knockout, man, it's going to be considered a failure. Now the people are starting to turn on him because he's not giving us the fights that we want. Nobody even asked for the Roach fight, but we got it, and it was actually a good fight where Gervonta Tank Davis ended up taking a knee in the fight, calling the timeout and saying he had grease in his eyes, and he don't want to correct that. Well, don't wear grease for the rematch. You know what I mean? And go ahead and correct that. Gervonta Tank Davis is not looking good out here. He's angry at any questions of any type of competition. It's so crazy to me. You remember when he made the statement one time, Floyd Mayweather trying to get me beat. As a boxer, he thinks Floyd Mayweather is trying to get him beat by putting him in there with other boxers. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. It's absolutely insane. What's good, Lou? What's good, Marcus? So, yeah, with that being said, let's go into Floyd real quick. Because one thing I wanted to know is that Tank Davis and Floyd, everybody knows. Remember Tank Davis was the one that revealed that Floyd Mayweather was in a basement or something like that? That Floyd Mayweather was trapped in a Saudi basement, and you remember all this stuff? And he talked about Floyd's daughter. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Tank had some type of dependency, like drug or something, alcohol, something, because he just has weird behavior. He be up late night just tweeting about everybody and everything, and then he'll delete it by the morning time. You're like, wait a minute, what Tank? And then it's like, Tank, you do realize once you put something out there, people are following your page. It's there forever. And then you leave it up for a long time, and just to only delete it later. It's like, did you change your mind? Like, why did you delete it? Tank is known. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna call him from now on. Tweet and delete Tank. That should be his new nickname. Tweet and delete Tank, not Abdul Wahid. Tweet and delete Tank, because that man will definitely tweet something and delete it by morning, like act like it didn't happen, just whistle past the tweets, you know? But yeah, man, that dude being with Floyd Mayweather is like his karma in life. I feel like, you know what I mean? Be with somebody who wants to overshadow what you're doing, because him announcing during the week, and Floyd Mayweather is the biggest hater of all time. You know what I mean? He makes it hard for people to even be a fan of his. He's such a hater. Right? And by him announcing the fight happening during the week of the fight with Bud and Canelo, which was for Undisputed, it was just telling of his character, right? The fight ain't even to 2026, and he's already announcing it now, right? And then he announced it too, and was doing media coverage to try to overshadow Jake versus Tank. You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to these things. But so let me share the screen so we can rack the Floyd hate weather. It's his new nickname for me. So here we go. Bam, there we go. Here we go. We got the glasses on. Everybody know glasses make you 10% smarter. Everybody knows this. Whatever your IQ level is, just put the glasses on. It makes you smarter.
What would happen on Saturday night, even though I think a lot of people who were fans were not exactly sure, would Canelo win? Would Bud be big enough, strong enough to handle Canelo's power? Well, the answer to that question was yes. I saw you placed a bet, won a lot of money. Congratulations. What are your thoughts? What was your reaction to the fight, Floyd, as you watched Bud and Canelo in there on Saturday?
Oh, it's good for boxing. It was exciting. The best man won.
Is Canelo washed up now at 35 years old?
Oh, I don't know. Boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body. Maybe.
I don't know if he washed up, but I'm gonna just say, boxing is a lot of wear and tear on the body. So basically, yeah, he got a lot of wear and tear. But I don't know if he washed up. Man, come on, Floyd. We know what you're trying to do, bro. You try to take the win out of Bud's win, man. Come on, bro. Come on, Floyd. Listen, everybody already know you wrote the book to the 48 Laws of Hating. We already know how you get down, Floyd Mayweather. So I already know what it is with you. That's crazy work, though. So let's keep on going.
So I'm not really sure.
Would you be interested in seeing a rematch, or would the fight be the same? Would it ultimately end up the same way?
I don't know. It's up to those two guys. They want to do a rematch. Do a rematch. If not, keep it moving.
Would you watch it, or not any real interest?
I'm pretty sure I'll watch it if they did it again. I'm pretty sure I would.
Now, I know a fight that fans will watch for sure is you and Mike Tyson. How's training going, Floyd? Talk to me all about this as you get ready to get back in that boxing.
Man, look, Mike Tyson is 60 years old. The man almost died from stomach ulcers. Like, bro, what are we talking about, Floyd Mayweather? Like, what are we doing? Can anybody tell me what we're doing here? Even though you might disagree with the Jake versus Tank fight, at least it's the handicap that's still like, it's still a bargain. Like, how do I put it? It's still a reasonable freak show. This is like Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather is just, I can't even wrap my mind around it. And I know it's good for promotion because I was excited myself. With my IQ in boxing, I was excited just seeing their names on a piece of paper and just the unknown. Oh my God, Mike Tyson. But bro, I had to come to reality, bro. Come on, man. Like Jake Paul just beat this man. Man was biting on his glove, just looking weird in there. You know what I mean? Bow-legged, knee brace, all that stuff. It's just like, man, come on, Floyd. That's when you want to fight Mike. And you don't even want to fight Jake Paul? Go fight Jake Paul. You fought his brother already? It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. Floyd Mayweather is a trip, man. Then he's sitting up here smiling and grinning like it's a real fight. Hey, like father, like son, because this is exactly what Tank is doing. Instead of giving us the fight that we want with Lamar Roach, he goes and gives us Jake Paul. So, like father, like son.
Ring once again.
Well, not really training right now.
Not yet.
The fight is in 2026. We still,
Wait a minute. You posted a clip of you jogging and counting money as if you were training for the Mike Tyson fight on the week of Terence Crawford versus Canelo. Now all of a sudden you like, well, I ain't really even start training yet. Oh my God, this dude. Could somebody please get this dude out of the sport of boxing? Could we do like a vote? Could we like vote him off like it was an island vote? You know what I mean? Can we get a I don't know, man. I don't know. Can Turkey Al-Rashid get rid of this dude? Somebody, anybody, put him back in the basement, Turkey.
Ironing out everything, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be exciting for the people and the fans.
Are you going in there to put Mike down and like, hey, this is not, we're going to have fun, we're going to throw a few punches, like I'm taking this seriously and I'm trying to Mike Tyson?
I don't know. I just want to give the fans what they want to see, excitement. So I'm pretty.
I don't know. I just want to give the fans what they want to see, because that's exactly what every fan was. You wouldn't believe, Floyd, when I went to Wingstop. Shout out to Wingstop. Lemon pepper 50 piece. Yeah. You wouldn't believe how many people at Wingstop was just like, man, everybody talk about, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder or Bud versus Canelo. I want that Mike Tyson versus Floyd, baby. Yeah, that's the fight that I'm looking for. And if boxing don't want to give it to me,
fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison.
that is crazy, Floyd. Nobody was calling for that fight, man. I really can't stand this dude, bro. I really don't like this guy. And it's so crazy because the boxer that he is, you want to preserve what he did inside the ring and, talk about that and let that be what lasts. But he won't go away. He's the herpes of boxing. Like, this is crazy. This dude will not leave. Every money pop up to say, hey, he's the herpes of boxing. Will never go away. Every money pop up to say, hey, bars.
Pretty sure it's going to be an exciting event, and people from all around the world is going to enjoy it.
Last time we see you in there, do you think
What's good, Raji?
We've got.
I don't know. But I mean,
yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate when people do this. I remember I was in high school, and like people would ask, like, hey, bro, did you hit? Bro, they love asking. Like what Dre say, you love asking if you hit, and I did, and I did. Like when people just start smiling, like, you know what I'm saying. Like that's what Floyd is hitting us with. It's like, bro, you can't build anticipation for a fight that nobody wants to see. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think casuals will show up for this, only because the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson event was so trash. And so whatever Mike Tyson biting his glove, just not doing anything, standing in front. It was so trash. I think that Floyd won't be able to sell it. And thank God. I think the fans are smart enough. Now, I don't know. They have done some dumb things.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to just still be able to entertain for the people, and you still get a chance to see just a glimpse of me.
Yeah, is it exciting to be like, this was your life for so long with Floyd fighting this guy, fighting Manny, fighting Connor, and all those, you were just at the center of all these talks for so many years. Is it exciting to be back there again and everyone talking about you and Mike and all of that stuff?
This title, Legend versus Legend. So, I mean, that's
Legend versus Legend. Come on, man. What's up, Mo Sadie? What's up, Unc? What's up, Uncle Picasso? Man, this is crazy, man. Legend versus legend. You cannot make this up, bro. Who the legend? Because y'all are both shells of y'all other shells that y'all shedded. At this point, it's just two June bugs in the ring fighting. I mean, let me stop.
It speaks for itself.
Any chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't.
Hold on.
Totally against that.
No, hold on. I gotta hear that again. Hold up.
The table.
That's on
that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
Floyd, if you don't stop lying, I had to go back and listen to that again. Bro, if you don't stop lying, you're not taking no professional bout after this Mike Tyson. With who? Because one of the exhibitions you fought that nobody knew, ain't even a household name in his own household. One of those guys was a professional boxer. You just was a bum. Like, bro, who are you gonna fight? Who are you fight? See, let me tell you what Floyd finna do. Especially announcing this fight and promoting it legend versus legend and always saying he's a historical promoter. Floyd Mayweather is going to make it seem as if he's going to fight Bud because that's the name that's buzzing, or maybe a Canelo rematch. And he's going to use that and sell that as a promotional point for this fight because he did it with Manny Pacquiao. He had no intentions of fighting Manny Pacquiao for them in 5 years, but what he kept doing every fight when he was fighting Victor Ortiz, he would say, yeah, it's a possibility, Marcos Maidana, I want to get it on with him, but, he got to take that urine tip. It was every time he would use that name and then say people were using his name to sell a fight. He was self-projecting. It was a Freudian slip. Like he was really, that's what he does. So he thinks everybody else is doing it. So yeah, that's crazy work. Amir, oh my God, Amir, you need to stop. She said, my nephew is 9 and we made a $20 bet on the Jake Paul versus Tate. Why are you taking that boy money like that? Who you bet on, Amir? Who you bet on? I don't even think they make it to the ring. Said Tyson wants to be unalive to the ring. If you don't stop, Amir, don't do that, sister. Don't you do that, sister. Don't you do that, sister. Said Marcus said what's good. And then Marcus said most haters said what's up to Marcus. And then Uncle Picasso said salute. Hey, I tell you who they don't want to mess with. Uncle Picasso. Uncle Picasso, man, bro. Hey, man, they better leave my Uncle Picasso alone. That man be out there kicking tree stumps. Hey, I bet you Floyd won't fight him. And guess what? If he do fight him, I'm gonna put that clip of him telling Bill Haney, "You need some help the other motherfucking night. You need some help the other motherfucking man. Come on, man." Say he wants to have a heart attack in the ring. Amir, if you don't stop, why you keep doing Uncle Mike like that? That's crazy work. He said the boxing scholar salute. He said something, Amir. Everybody saying what's up. They even said what's up to Press. Press, I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit. You better not fall asleep. Okay. My bad, I'm back. Said Mayweather makes money. You think so? Why ain't nobody been buying his last exhibitions? That's why he want to fight Mike Tyson, because he sees it as an opportunity to sell legend versus legend. Floyd ain't making no money in these exhibitions. Nobody can even tell me the result of him versus Gotti, any of the fights. You know the most like the highlighting thing about the matchup with him and Gotti is that Floyd Mayweather changed the referee in the middle of the fight. And that was the talk of the town. And then it only made news because it went viral. Like nobody really watched the fight. They only know about that section of the fight. Nobody cares about. See, Floyd made a career out of trolling Mexicans fighting on Mexican Independence Day. And he knew he didn't have a scintillating style because he had brittle hands and he didn't have the power because he's a smaller guy moving up. So what Floyd would do is talk a gang of stuff to make people want to see him lose. His marketing point was the O. But because his exhibition and it don't count and he's not fighting elite opposition, he can't pull it off anymore. He can't. Floyd, why you come back? Because I wanted to rob some more money. Because I wanted to rob some more. He can't rob no more money. The last robbery that he had was Conor McGregor. Nobody wants to see it anymore. So, hey, in the words of Diddy, Ford is out there scrambling and scraping. Said, I got my money on Tank only because he got his money on Paul. Oh, wait, he finna get your money, Amir. I would have bet on Jake Paul. Jake Paul can't take no more losses in the sport of boxing. Netflix is his deal. He brought Tank to Netflix. Let's be honest. He brought Tank to Netflix. And PBC think they slick, you know what I mean? They finna have two of the biggest fights potentially on paper, right? And as far as casuals go, potentially with Floyd Mayweather versus Tyson, and then Jake Paul versus they finna cash out, and it's gonna be on Netflix, and that's an intro into Netflix. Yeah, you gotta pay attention to stuff like this. My business mind be coming alive sometimes. So I got my right there. I already said boxing is corrupt. Well, bro, that's crazy. That's like saying Bruce is fat. We all know that. Picasso started laughing. He said, "Where's Press so I could debate him on the panel about Tank?" Oh, I dropped the link so y'all could debate. I'm gonna put it on the community tab. I'll drop it in the regular link, and then I'll put it on the community wall so y'all can pull up and debate about Tank. You already know it ain't for to be no debate. Don't debate. It's gonna be if you don't like Tank.
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison.
It ain't for to be no debate. Amir got a new channel. Man, ain't nobody got time for Amir. Amir, that's crazy. You can't boxing never leave your heart. You still over here in the boxing. Everybody know you from the boxing town. Why would you move away from that? But hey, like I say, that's you, sister. I dropped the link. You know, you can do your thing. You can come over here and promote your new channel. Because we didn't even know about it. You just show up with a new hairstyle, new everything. That crazy work. That's crazy work, Amir. You show up with all this new stuff. All right, I dropped it both on the community tab and I dropped it in the chat. Amir, the people over here clearly want to see you. That's crazy. I be doing all this talking, showing all this love, and they want to see you on my channel. That is crazy work. That is crazy. Talk to him, Thug.
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison.
That's crazy, man. How y'all doing, your boy? Oh, okay, I get you. Okay, you saying you tired of being around these boxing people? They don't got expansion and growth. Well, I disagree with that, Amir. But let me finish this so we can go ahead and get into the Jake Paul stuff, because that's why I know Press gonna rake up. He's somewhere asleep in America right now. As soon as I put that on, whoop-de-doo, he gonna pull up 100%. He gonna pull up. Watch it.
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know. But as of right now, everything is going great. I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
I got a question. For Daily Mail. Why you still working hard if you got all the millions, all the millions that you say you had? Why is you still working hard like that? Remember Floyd was talking about how he make what my homie X told me. I think Floyd said he make $100 million a month or something crazy, and people was out there really arguing that he made that much money. It's just crazy to me. That's like, why you still fighting there? Why you still working hard? I thought it was about working smarter, not harder. Why is you close to? What is he, 50 something? He got to at least be 52, 53. Let me look up Floyd's actual age. Why is you still working that hard at that age if it's about working smarter? Let's see how old Floyd is. Let's see how old he is. I guarantee he about 50, because Mike Tyson what? He not that far off, 48, so he almost 50. He almost 50, 50 years old. They said, where the woman at? See? You see how they do? You see how they do me? Said, I'm talking to him, not you. You ain't got to pull up at all. Said, where the women at? Mentally said, no problem, simply Amir. And she said, get back to the topic. Who are you talking to? Tell me what to do. And he said, what's up? And he said, Floyd all soft. Floyd talking all soft. Said, didn't Floyd get kidnapped in Dubai like 2 years ago because he owed them people money? Exactly. They kidnapped Floyd. Allegedly, Floyd told him, hey, don't kill me. I got a family. Kill them. Turkey. He told Turkey, don't kill me. I got a family. Kill them. That's how selfish this man is. But let's get to this. So this is where Snake. That's what I'm gonna call him, Snake. Snake Davis. Steak Davis. This is where Steak Davis snapped on a reporter for asking why he fighting Jake Paul over Shakur. You can't make this up. This is crazy work.
Now, Javonte, a lot of boxing fans aren't happy with the fact you've taken this fight rather than the Roach rematch, fights with the likes of Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo, etc. What do you make of that reaction? And can we still expect to see those fights?
Why should I care what they think? When y'all switch every, somebody can have a bad day and y'all switching on who y'all favorite fighter is.
Okay, bam. Let's break that down right there. When he talk about is he's basically saying to the fans that he feels shaded and jaded by y'all because he felt like, you know, he was a star one day and then hair grease in his eye the next, and y'all turned on him. You know, y'all started talking about that. Now, I've been talking about this stuff. Y'all got ass press. I got a track history talking about the nail painting, his favorite emoji, which was the ladies with the nail, which is crazy word, right? And him doing the dance. I showed all that little spicy behavior that Tank Davis be having, you know, and I always said that, you know, he got power, but, you know, you get beyond that power, man. We're going to see what's inside of there. And we seen, you know, he's a paper man. Man made of paper. You remember when he was in class and they used to have you cut out the stuff and then make the little, you know, the people holding hands and stuff like that. That's what's inside of Tank Davis. He's a paper man, you know, and he's still not over the Lamont stuff. And it's like, bro, if you're not over it, go rematch and beat him. I guarantee if you go in there and knock him out, nobody will have nothing to say about you taking the knee. But you're scared to take risks. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go.
Who this person is supposed to fight? Like y'all need to sit back and be fans and just enjoy the sport. Like y'all even talk about people's personal lives. Like why when it come to that?
Bro, what do you take? What are you mad about, bro? I know. Oh, okay. Tank mad about us, you know, making fun of him. Well, not making fun of him, but talking about his character because he wrecked us to that pregnant lady and then took off. But it's like, bro, listen, this is one thing I'll never understand about celebrities, bro. Never. You know, I'll never, like, bro, there isn't one violin on earth I will ever play for a celebrity, ever. I'll tell you why. They sit up here and complain about people being in their personal life. Everybody already know. Y'all see my intro. Y'all already know. Man, come on, bro. Y'all know I'm that guy, right? You know, and I look in the mirror sometimes like I'm really him, you know. And if I ever blew up and got famous, you know, well, let me say more famous, because, you know, Scholar's kind of a big deal out here, you know. But if I ever got, bro, privacy is something I would sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, bro, because you look at these celebrities, they whine about being celebrities, but then when they're no longer celebrities, it drives them crazy, right? When you don't care about their personal life, they're practically out there butt naked, just tap dancing like Orlando Brown, you know, they doing all kind of crazy stuff to remain relevant when you no longer care about their personal life. So I feel like that's a small thing to sacrifice, especially when if you keep the laws out your life, Tank, nobody would even know these things. Nobody would know who you was with, your baby mama. It's your antics and you getting in trouble with the law, which is why it's publicized. You could have a private life, but you choose to scream in your private life really loudly and then wonder why people are like, wait, he wrecked into a pregnant lady and fled the scene? Wait a minute, he putting hands on his baby. Wait a minute. It's like, bro, you're doing these things. Nobody's forcing you to do this stuff. Nobody's mind possessing you and making you do these things. And it's like I said, it's so crazy, right? I'll give you a prime example. Right now, Cameron had Adrian Broner on there, right? Y'all seen that? I made videos on this, right? And when Adrian Broner was on there, Cameron kicked him off. But that ain't even what you got to pay attention to, right? Look at his treatment of Adrian Broner while he was on there, calling him a junkie and, you know, just treat Adrian Broner like a bum, like a literal bum. You know, we use that term a lot because of Muhammad Ali, but no, I mean an actual bum on the corner that starts to wash your window and you don't want that done. Like, hey, man, we don't want that. Get out of here. Like, he literally turned into that, where Adrian Broner's being like treated like, thank you, man. You know, you got $2 I could use. I got these cheeseburgers, man. That's who Adrian Broner reminded me of during that interview. And Adrian Broner at one time was on Tank's status. Matter of fact, he used to give Tank money, according to him. And now Tank is flipped and gave him money. Like, Tank, if you were Adrian Broner's status in his shoes, guy with potential that never lived up to, you would cry. It's more depressing when you're like that. The man even got a tooth knocked out of his mouth after threatening You know what I mean? Hey, you know, I got my goons up in here. So you better not, hey, don't flinch, don't nut. My dude just beat a body. You remember all that crazy stuff? And then the man got his tooth knocked out of his mouth. Adrian Broner's a bum at this point. And it's like, you worried about people in your personal life, but I guarantee it would be 100 times worse if they didn't care about you at all. And you was like AB, you know, out there like Eddie Kane. Nights like this, I wish raindrops would fall.
Can we still expect to see any of those fights in the future, though?
And y'all keep talking about fighting somebody. Didn't he just have a fight? Didn't he just have a fight? And what happened? What happened? What happened? He won, right? But how he look in it? Exactly.
I told y'all. Man, come on, bro. Come on, man. What we say? Come on, man. I told y'all this was gonna happen. Not with Shakur, but he waiting for Lamont Roach. So look, Lamont Roach stayed around waiting for the Tank Davis rematch, and I said Lamont Roach is in a crazy situation in the sport of boxing because he in a rock and a hard place. If he stay around waiting for a rematch that he might not never get, he'll rust. He'll rust. His name will go down. He'll be training for this one fight that he might not never get, and he could potentially struggle against other people because he's so focused on Tank, right? And because Tank Davis pump faked him for a couple months, pump faked him for all that time, he was sitting around waiting for a rematch that was never going to happen, rusted, right? So now he's about to fight Pitbull Cruz, which he should win that fight, but you never know. He's a smaller guy moving up, right? And styles make fights. So if he struggles in that fight, I guarantee you 100%. Tank Davis is going to say the exact same thing that he's saying right now about Shakur. And let me tell you how funny this is. This is how you know Tank is kind of slow, right? Tank Davis just said, why would he give the fans what they want? They need to focus on being fans because everybody is one bad performance away from being judged. But he's judging Shakur off his last performance. You can't make this up. You can't make this level of hypocrisy up. Can't make it up. But anyway, I digress.
But y'all say some different shit when it's me, right? Because y'all want me to lose money. It is when y'all see people in that limelight too long, they want to take that they want somebody else to come take that.
He sound like Floyd. He been around Floyd too much. He sound like Floyd Mayweather. He sound like Floyd Hateweather. That's what I got my list saved as today. He sound like Floyd Hateweather.
Spot. That's why it's always like, come on, bro. That's what happened with Floyd. Y'all seen him too much, and once y'all seen him so much, y'all start hating on. Like it turned from love to hate.
Next question. How you doing, Tank? Jake MacArthur from Casual Corner. Tank, are you going to be retiring? If not, who could we see you fight next year?
Right now, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, doing me right now.
Okay. And for Jake, is Canelo still on your list after the loss?
Yeah, 100%. That's another one.
Yo. And see, this is why I be trying to tell you all the time. And, it's some conspiracies on YouTube. People think that Jake Paul have bought me out. This is the craziest thing. This is how you know just people, like, I don't know if COVID made us go to an alternative timeline or whatever the case may be, or if just people have always been slow. I just didn't notice it or give them time to show their craziness. But people really think that I'm bought by the powers to be. They can't even name the powers to be. Do you think I would not be at the press conference if Jake Paul? Matter of fact, the only time my channel was struck, but was by Jake Paul and his people. And then I emailed them. They changed the email. I was like, hey, man, you can keep the content. Just take the strike away. They changed it. It kept the strike on my page. So absolutely not, And if I was, I'm a rich and scared coward in the words of Floyd. I would tell you, y'all would know. I would start putting my people on. You would slowly see a shift to Jake Paul is the greatest. But listen, I'm going to be honest with you. In the same way people always say we can't criticize these fighters because they take the risk, Jake Paul taking risks. The man had his name on a contract to fight Canelo. Say what you want about Jake Paul promotions. Jake Paul is a boxer. Promoting wise, he got 2 females their first $1 million paydays. Never been done. He put 2 females on a big stage on Netflix. Never been done because he put them on the undercard of Mike Tyson. Everybody's so focused on the main event and the failure of that they missed that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was a dud. But the undercard, everybody liked the women. They were like, who are these women? They can fight because it's a great style matchup, which was brilliant, by the way, because it was him making money, hand over fist by promoting people. And then, like I said, the promoting leading up to the fight, Jake Paul is second to none. He understands that WWE personality type stuff. So Jake Paul takes real punches. There's a video of him getting a concussion online, bloody nose. So he's bled for the sport. He's sacrificing for the sport. He's making the sport better and giving it more appeal. And people still say he's not a real boxer. Now, if he's not a real boxer, out of the two people on stage, they asked Tank Davis, who you fight next? Well, I'm going to do me, which is a female answer. I'm going to just be honest. That's what females say. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do me. That's a female answer, right? Debo, that's a female. But that's a female answer. Then they asked Jake Paul. He said he want to fight Canelo. The two people on the stage, the one that they're saying is a fake boxer, is saying he wants to fight a real boxer, right? And the other guy is saying, well, I'm going to just do me. Let that sink in for a second.
The biggest fights that can be made in boxing. And after I beat this guy, Canelo's on the list for sure.
It's Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican Kid KG. And my first question is for Tank. Tank, so obviously, you're fighting Jake, and this is the fight that's in front of you. That's what you focused on now. But I got to ask you, he's a bigger dude. You acknowledge that. He's stronger. He's got the size advantage. Let's say he would have knocked you out. Do you think that impacts your legacy? Or even lose? Just a loss to Jake Paul. What kind of impact do you think that has on your legacy?
I'm not really. I'm not sure. I'm not really big on it.
Yo, why is this grown ass man playing with an animal? Did I miss something? These are highlights of the press conference. Could somebody tell me what happened? I don't know what happened there. Jake Paul make a joke or make a mockery out of Tank and made an animal balloon and called him a clown or something. And that's why he's playing. Why is this man playing with an animal balloon? What did I miss? Could somebody please fill me in? What the hell did I miss?
Already care at this moment.
So you're not concerned that a loss to Jake Paul would mean anything to you at all? It doesn't stop anything?
Why should I?
Got you.
He gonna still have his poodle after the loss.
My follow-up question is for you, Jake. Jake, look, in the Mike Tyson fight, fans debate whether you were pulling back a little bit or whatever the case might have been with the outcome to it. In this fight, is it your intention to make up for that a little bit? Do you want to knock Tank out? And is it a little bit about making up for maybe not doing that against Tyson?
Yeah, 100%. I haven't got a knockout in a long time, so I'm itching. It's been a couple of fights, and I believe truly I've manifested. I've saw the vision of him getting knocked out at highlight reel KO, and I'm just excited to be able to deliver that for the fans and have one of another most viral knockouts.
I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. I think Tank Davis is gonna go in this fight if it happens. If we ever get it. What's up, Doug? If we ever get them in the ring together, because I won't believe it until I hear the bell and they're coming out, and the referee is making them touch gloves and come out fight and give them instructions. But if this fight happens, Tank's gonna run around the ring. He's gonna use his legs to try to take advantage of Jake Paul's slow feet, and not having really, really good movement. He's gonna stink up the joint. You're gonna see Tank fight like he never fought before. You're not gonna stand in front of him. Man, look, if I was a betting man, I ain't gonna say I promise you. If I was a betting man, I would lean more towards that outcome. That's just me. This is how I'm looking at how his demeanor is. I'm looking at all of the stuff involved. I'm like, he trying to rob the bank. And then I look at it like, well, he listening to Floyd. What would Floyd do? How to get them bracelets. What would Jesus do? What would Floyd do in this situation? He up there talking about Floyd. So that made me look up to him. And of course he look up to him because he's like a mentor. He gave him that bump, right? I'm like, what would Floyd do? I think Floyd would get in there and, just dance and use his feet and, don't get hit a lot. What he always say? It's about being smart, work it smarter, not harder. That would be Tank robbing the bank, essentially. I think he's going to go in there and not take any risks. What y'all think? Y'all let me know in the chat.
Knockouts ever.
Hello, Gervonta and Jake Paul. My name is Brian Lima, and I have a question for both of you. So we all know you guys are fighting on Friday, November the 14th. But the one question I have for both of you is, Jake, starting off with you, What made you wanted to fight a fighter like Gervonta Davis, who's been doing it his entire life? Knockout power, pinpoint accuracy, everything, etc.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've talked some shit to him, but I honestly respect him a lot as a fighter, as an entertainer, and he's one of the only other biggest name in America. Me and him are the biggest names in America in terms of boxing, so it only makes sense to fight. It's a challenge for me. It's a step up in my career, and because of the size and everything, that's what makes this a 50-50 fight. I always love challenging myself and doing the biggest events and partnering with Netflix and putting on a show, so that's what this is all about, and I put him on my list 4 years ago of someone that I would fight, and I just made it come true.
Thanks, Jake. And Gervonta, my question for you is, you could have fought anybody on the top rankings. What made you wanted to?
Great question. Great question. Before we even get into it, I got to go address Jake Paul. So Jake Paul did not put Tank on the. Well, he did put Tank on the list a long time ago, but he's been planning to fight Tank since the Mike Tyson fight. You remember that everybody was of suspicion, and you know Jake Paul. I mean, Tank Davis was saying, you know, my next opponent was in my locker room. You remember that after his fight? And there were a lot of people speculating, like, who, Jake Paul? But nobody thought that was a real fight. You know who was saying it was a realistic fight? Scholar. Because I watch these people and study their character, man. I know what they're gonna do. And I knew this was a realistic fight. You know, I knew it was a realistic fight because they could do an exhibition, rob the bank like they about to do, you know. But listen to how Tank Davis responds to this.
Fight somebody like Jake Paul that has the size, the reach, and everything. Like, what made you wanted to choose somebody like Jake Paul?
Just testing myself, you know. We got the opportunity, you know. They can.
Did that man say testing himself? A test to show what exactly? What did I miss? Can somebody tell me what I missed?
And said they wanted to, you know, get it on. So we let the ends meet.
Thank you, Jake Paul, and thank you, Gervonta Davis.
Hey, what's up? My name is Edwin, representing that Boxing Voice, TBV. My first question is to Gervonta. Gervonta, a lot of people have stepped up to beat the fighter that is Jake Paul. Why is it that you think that you can be that fighter? And if anything, do you think you can stop him?
Say it one more time.
I know that dude. That's the dude that be on the Boxing Voice. I know that dude. I know the picture of his name. I can't remember what he calls himself. I know that dude.
I'm sorry.
I said that a lot of fighters have stepped up to fight Jake Paul, and a lot of fighters claimed that they were going to be the fighter to stop him. What makes you think that you can be the fighter to stop him? And if you can stop him, do you think you can stop him?
Yeah, for sure. I think I can stop him. I'm much quicker than him. He's much stronger, much bigger, but we all know that tall fighters is a taller fighter. A shorter person is hard to fight a taller person. So, a taller person is hard to fight a shorter person. So,
he said that he had a Freudian slip and then try to switch it up. Yep, that's him. Round one. Thank you, bro. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, I could only visualize the face. You're right. That's round one.
We know he's going to be definitely frustrated. You know, he's slower. You know, his arm reach not that much longer. We just gotta wait and see it till we get in there and test the waters. But
Tank just saying stuff. His arm reach ain't that much. He just saying anything at this point to sell the fight.
You know, he's gonna be definitely frustrated. You know, he's slower. You know, his arm reach not that much longer.
Y'all caught that, right? His arm reach is not that much longer. Let me show y'all this shit right here. I just looked at their face off. Let me show y'all this, bro. This dude said his arm reach is not that much longer. That is hilarious. Look at this awkward ass face off the head. Look at this. Look at this real quick. Can somebody look at this? Kevin Hart. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this, man. Watch this. That man said the arm reach is not that long. Hold on, let me show you how this arm reach. Look at the optics, man. Look at the optics. Now look, listen, there are some short people out there that can fight, you know. But whenever I be telling people like, man, bro, I push that little dude down. This is what I be talking about, optics wise. Like, look at this, man. Look at this. You know, bro, it's a YouTuber out there who say he'll box me, bro. But he keep hollering border wars. Why would I pay to go, you know, go to jack you up, bro? It's like, it don't make any sense. But this is how I look at him. The same way Jake Paul is towering over that dude. Like, bro, I'll push you down, bro, and dare you to get up. Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, come on, man. But he said that the arm reach ain't that much off. Look at this. Let me see. Look. You see how he bent down and looked at Tank like he was a little kid? That's crazy right there. Oh, my God, that's crazy, man. Hold on, let me slow this down. That is crazy work. He looked at Tank like a little baby. And look, Tank put his head down. Look at him. Look how he reacted. Does he react like a guy that's confident to y'all? Look at him. What you looking at? What's down there, Tank? Look how Jake Paul is looking at him like a little kid. Look at him. Let's look at the reach. The reach ain't that much. Look at this, man. Come on, bro. Look at this right here. Cause somebody come look at this. That's crazy, bro. Where's Kevin Hart when you need him? That man said the reach ain't that far off. That's crazy, man. Well, yo, when Jake Paul does this pose right here, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like, this is like some, like I said, some Conor McGregor stuff. You know, Conor McGregor used to pose like this. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, it's just weird to me. Like, people in UFC don't even do this like weird stuff. That's what I mean by his WWE stuff. And look, the cameraman got a good photo, to be fair. Camera guys got some good angles. Then he opening up his fist. He just being weird. Look, bro, come on, man. Tank backed up. Man, come on, bro. Yo, if you a Tank fan after this fight, man, something wrong with you. He backed up. Jake Paul backing Tank Davis up with nothing. With a karate pose. Man, something wrong with Tank Davis. I'm praying for Tank Davis. Look, he looked down again. Why you keep looking down? What's down there, Tank? Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Tank look like a stud. I mean, like a female that tries to pretend to be a man. First time he touched him, he touched the back of his arm. I don't know if he was saying it was flabby. I don't know if he was saying he was gonna hit it. I don't know. I don't know if he said he gonna hit it. I don't know. That is a tactic that people use. Yeah, maybe he telling him he gonna hit him. Or he telling Tank he fat, touching him down there like you soft. I don't know. Maybe he was just saying they flabby. I don't know what that was about. That was weird. But look at the reach. Look at the reach. Look at the reach advantage that he told everybody they ain't got to worry about. Come on, bro. Man, not even fully extended. Just violating Tank, touching him anywhere. You remember how aggressive he was when B-Hop tried to touch him for the Garcia fight, and everybody was saying that B-Hop. That's another thing I don't forget nothing. I remember how y'all dumb fans were saying B-Hop rubbed something on Tank Davis to drug him before the fight. Y'all didn't think I was gonna remember that, did y'all? Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna remember that, did y'all? You know what I mean? I remember that.
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison.
Man, whoop-de-doo. I remember that, bro. I remember what y'all was saying about him rubbing stuff on him to drug him before the fight. But you notice how he letting Jake Paul just violate him, and he keep looking to the ground. Jake Paul violate him. He touch him anywhere he want. Jake Paul could have took his cap like he did Floyd Mayweather. He could have did anything he want. Look, and Tank, he don't want confrontation. Every time he approaches him, he looks to the side or looks down. Listen, everybody that's a boxing fan, you know, to some degree watches the Animal Planet, right? To a certain degree, right? Like if you like fighting, you gon' watch Animal Planet at some point. It's inevitable, right? So I remember one time I was watching the Lions. What's up, Kazi? I was watching Lions and them taking over prides, right? And if a lion took over a pride, you know, it's one of the things that he would do. If he was fighting another lion that didn't want to die, that wasn't really willing to die, he said, "Love this channel." Thank you, appreciate it. Said, what a lion that didn't want to die, wasn't willing to die for his pride. You know what they would do to that person? Or what a lion would do to that lion? He would bite his balls off. I BS you not. He would bite his balls off so he could not produce. That was the punishment for even thinking he was a challenge. And another thing he would do, a lion, is he would avoid eye contact with the other lion. So you got two lions scrapping, right? And all this noise they make, right? You know, and then one just start beating the other brutally, right? Then bites his balls off. The other lion just sits up there and stares into the clouds and stares off and acts like nothing happened, because to look at him in the eyes is another challenge. And it's like, well, if the animal kingdom understands it, why do y'all think human beings wouldn't be able to understand it? And listen, he said out of his own mouth, I took this fight because I like taking risks. So even he understands that it's risky for him to get. Jake Paul is looking to put you on the highlight reel. You know, say what you want about Jake Paul. Maybe he said the lines are paused. Yeah, that's facts. Said say what you want about Jake Paul, man, he's a real boxer. He's a real boxer. He's got to be able to recognize this too as well. And he's going to be trying to knock out Gervonta Tank Davis. This ain't no Mike Tyson. This ain't a 60-year-old man. He going to try to put him on a poster. It is what it is. Gervonta Tank Davis has never been stretched. If he stretched Gervonta Tank Davis, I'm telling you, he's going to try to do him like Nate. You got to remember how Mike Tyson was the birth of Jake Paul. You remember? They had the Thriller card. They put Jake Paul on it, right? Against Nate Robinson, They put him on there against Nate Robinson, and he knocked him out in brutal fashion, the basketball player. He knocked him out in brutal fashion. And that was the birth of Jake Paul boxing career, because all the people eyes was on the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones card. They used the undercard to make stars. That is the real formula of boxing. Not what this Top Rank machine and all these other things do, where they put other promotional companies, where they put a fighter in there against a no-hoper to try to make him look really, really good, etc. You know, and then the whole card from top to bottom on Top Rank is stars versus nobodies. You know, the Monstars versus the Looney Tunes. That's literally the motto that they take at Top Rank. And this is why Top Rank is no longer with ESPN and looking for a home and streaming their stuff from Facebook. So yeah, that is crazy to me, man. That is crazy. So let's go back. He said lines are paused. He said, so that's why Jake Paul's mouth full. And then they said, is that his Phantom, man? Is that you, Phantom? No, I think it's Simple Blue. Said, real boxers, cough, cough. So I got Jake Paul in this one too. All right? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm leaning towards Paul, especially after this. Looking down and all that stuff, man. Like, what's down there, Tank? What's down there that's so interesting? Why your eyes dropping? Let's see if he can give him something. Okay, finally he looked him in the eyes. And then looks back down. Look, he can't look him in his eyes. I've never seen Gervonta Tank Davis like this at any point in his career. He can't look him in his eyes. Like he's trying to build up courage just to look him in the eyes. Finally, we get a stare down. Somebody from the audience must have told him something. Like, look him in the eyes. Because finally we get some eye contact. And then he broke again. Then he looks down again. What is he looking at? Tank, what you looking for? A print, bro? Like, come on, man. All this sus behavior. And then look, he pat him on the back like, yo, I'm gonna kick your ass, man. Yeah, man, you don't want none of this. Bro, Jake Paul, bro. Look at the size difference, man. Like, listen, that's crazy, man. This is crazy, bro. I don't even think, listen, what's the over-under on Gervonta Tank Davis having a mysterious injury before the fight? What's the over-under on that? I don't think he make it to the fight. I think he's scared. I think he's scared. I might have to unmute, man. Or take it off a slow mo. I want to know what they're saying. Why, man, a handshake? That's crazy, man. And Gervonta Tank Davis is out of shape right now, too, by the way, for people that can't tell. And you know what's really interesting is everybody said, "What weight are they going to fight at?" I don't know. You got a heavyweight versus a lightweight. That's crazy. That means Tank Davis could come in heavy. Is that going to be good for Tank Davis? Because then y'all same people say it was going to be bad for Bud. Why is it going to be bad for Bud for good for Gervonta Davis? He's fat right now. That's what Jake Paul did. That's why he has a sweater on. That's why he ain't shirtless. Jake Paul's showing, I'm already ready to fight right now. November's right around the corner. November's right around the corner. Like, I don't think the fight happens. Now looking at this, the fear of Gervonta Tank Davis, the out of shape. Like, bro, November is right around the corner. When are you going to start training for this fight? He's clearly out of shape right here. And nervous, too, by the way. I don't see it. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. What about y'all? What about y'all, man? Let's get back to this. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, bro. Hold on. Give me a sec. I don't see it happening. It is what it is. Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right, let's get back to the lies.
We just gotta wait and see it till we get in there and test the waters. But I'm for sure though that he decent and he gonna hold up for a couple rounds. But once it get hot in there, you know how things play out.
All right. And to Jake Paul, the same question to you. What makes you think that you can stop Tank Davis with your lack of experience in the ring?
Yeah, he's an emotional fighter. He gets upset easily. He's no matter what he does, he's going.
You're not a real fider.
He's going to underestimate me. Bro, you took a knee in the last fight. You should have got 2 points taken.
Oh, Jake Paul, let's go. Oh my God. Hey, yo, that is a fact. Jake Paul is up there spitting fire, bro. Jake Paul is dialogue, because I spit who the 5 greatest rappers of all time. Think about it. Dialogue, because I spit hot fire. Bro, he talking about, listen, if you look in the background on this video, you see Gervonta Tank Davis taking a knee in the fight. Jake Paul brought it up during the press conference, bro. Holy, when I tell you this man know how to sell a fight, this man knows psychological warfare, and he has a good team. Look, bro, I would not hype this dude up, bro. Like I said, this dude got my channel struck. If anything, he cost me subs because I came back and was shadow banned instantly off of covering a Jake Paul fight. But reality is reality, bro. Jake Paul know how to sell a fight, is a good talker, and he's good with the psychological games. And plus, this is a very underrated part about Jake Paul. His team is really smart. Jalen Love and the boxing minds that he have around him. See, this is one thing you'll never hear on any other channel because they ain't got this business mind. Check this out. Jake Paul signed to fight Canelo. Stay with me. Jake Paul signed to fight Canelo. Jake Paul is bigger than Canelo, definitely, right? He's a heavyweight. He's bigger than Tank and Canelo, right? Bigger than Bud, too. They asked Terence Crawford, would he ever fight Jake Paul? He said no. He said the guy's too big. He done been around him. Remember, they asked him, the Canelo he thought was too big at first, but he sized him up and he changed his mind. He said, no, I can beat this guy. He ain't that big. He been around Jake Paul. He said no. Shannon Sharp said 150 million. He said, I'll fight Jake Paul for 150 million. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, bro. You shouldn't sell your legacy for 150 million. But that's neither here nor there. So Bud, even accomplishing what he accomplished by beating Canelo at 168, thought that Jake Paul is too big, right? Jake Paul and his team had Canelo's name on the contract to fight Canelo because they seen Canelo's slippage. They thought that they could use their size and impose their physicality and actually beat Canelo Alvarez. You got to pay attention. You got to stay hip to this stuff. He's seen the same thing that Bud and his team see. And Bud and his team are experienced because we just seen the results of the Canelo fight. But Jake Paul seen it first. His name was on the contract next to Canelo's first. Got to pay attention to these things. That dude's That team is a genius, man. This is even fighting Tank Davis. It's gonna bring. Listen, you heard Amir say her nephew wanted to bet $20. You go take a guy who's a star in Gervonta Tank Davis. You match up with him. Nobody cares about weight because real boxing fans don't even know about weight classes anyway. They just see names. So you're gonna be able to sell it. Not like Floyd Mayweather fighting a 60-year-old. Oh, it's a legend versus a legend. No, this is a smart marketing. You take a prime fighter who's a knockout artist and you say this is a dangerous fight and I'm actually fighting a real boxer. Meanwhile, you're a heavyweight. Genius, man. It's genius. Listen, man, I had to break that down for y'all, man. If I got too long-winded, my bad. But that is crazy. That is business at a high level. You know, I break down boxing at a high level. That's business at a high level, you know.
You're not even listening.
You're always in your head. Like at the end of the day, he thinks that the speed is going to make a difference. It's not. He has a lot of holes in his defense. No one has ever pressed him.
You should put a fighter on.
And you're going to see me knock this guy
That's
out.
how I know you're not a real fighter. When you at a press conference, you don't put the next person on point. You shouldn't do that.
What are you saying?
You heard what I said.
You said you shouldn't put the next person on point?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I don't know what that means, bro.
Okay. Next question.
Jorge Alonso.
What he's saying is if you have a secret, you shouldn't reveal it. But I think he don't respect you. The way he was disrespecting you by touching all on you and stuff in the face off, it showed he don't respect you. So he's telling you that what he thinks about you psychologically, you know. So, I mean, and I don't know how that reveals any game plan or anything, but it is what it is. You know, Tank over there got better stuff to do. You know, the fight is on, November 14th? You know, it's not that far away. And, you know, I guess he got stuff to do. He's over there texting on his iPhone 5. It looked like an old iPhone, like the iPhone rose gold. But shout out to Tank.
So, BroBible.com. Gervonta, considering that.
Gervonta.
I'm not going to lie to you. Him correcting his name like that is hilarious to me because did you change it to Abdul Wahid? What's up with the connection to the name, brother? Like you changed your name when you want to go to the motherland, but like it's just so crazy to me that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I will shoot Tank a little bell on this. It does annoy me when everybody say Gervonta too. It's like, bro, how hard is it to say Gervonta? Everybody calls him Gervonta. Why would you be the one person to say Gervonta? It doesn't make any sense. Not even close. Gervonta is not something. It's not tomato type situation. So I'm gonna shoot him a little bell on that.
Tank,
you got a mohawk, bro. Chill.
Gervonta.
You got a mohawk. Always remember that. You got a mohawk.
You tattooed your fucking name on your forehead so you wouldn't forget, you dumbass.
That's not my name, dumbass. That's my daughter name.
Uh-oh.
Dumbass. And my son name, dumbass. And again, you got a mohawk. You're a fucking clown.
What is that? Can somebody help me out on that? What does the mohawk mean?
All right.
Because we was rocking the mohawks in 2011. You remember that? Ain't I? Remember that dude? He had a mohawk.
Tank. All right, Tank, you're giving up 40 pounds, 50 pounds to Jake. Considering he's much bigger, is this one of the biggest challenges of your career? Do you feel?
I can't say right now. I ain't been in the ring with him. You know?
And for Jake, is this the biggest, toughest challenge of your career?
Yeah, 100%. This is a top 10 pound for pound fighter. You know, there's been a lot of criticism on fighter.
Bro, look at Jake. Jake Paul is up there looking like Malibu's most wanted. He got the shades, the mink. He got the ice around his neck. He got the bling bling in his ear. It's so crazy that Jake Paul, like I said, Jake Paul is everything that they say Gervonta Tank Davis try to display to the America. You know, what did Paulie say? Why do they always promote thug life over boxers like Shakur? Well, look at Jake Paul. I mean, he's saying everything, but first off, fuck your bitch and the click you click. You know what I mean? But if Jake Paul do it, I guess.
Fuck that. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison.
Whoop-de-doo if Jake Paul does it. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, that's crazy. He said Shawty Low and the big cats. Said he means mullet. He means mullet. Yeah. I don't know what he talking about. Tank Davis is not really good at trash talk. Most of the people he get into their head with intimidation, but they are fighters at his respective weight class. You know what I mean? That know he can punch. This is a heavyweight. He don't respect your power. You're gonna have to get his respect in the ring by tagging him on the chin. You're not gonna do it with words at a press conference.
A pro boxer, fight someone your age, all this stuff. And Tank has stepped up to the plate. He said it in the podcast. He said, I'm the guy. I'm the guy to beat him, for him to fight a pro boxer, for him to fight someone his own age. So here we are. This is definitely the toughest test.
Hey, how you doing? My question's for Jake. Chris here with Boxing with Chris. Jake, when I spoke to you in March at the Tank Roach, you seemed disappointed. It seemed that this fight was not going to happen. How were the terms revisited and how are we here today?
Wait, say it again? Something about a fight not happening?
When we spoke in March, you said this fight was off the table. So from March to here, how was this fight revisited? How were you guys able to make this fight happen?
Yeah, no, we just made it happen. I mean, negotiations back and forth, all parties being aligned. And, this is the biggest fight in boxing. Currently, we're going to beat Terence and Canelo numbers with ease. So
Oh, that's another thing right there. Yeah, I might have not caught. My bad. Let's go back.
Currently, we're going to beat Terence and Canelo numbers with ease. So
You heard that? We're going to beat Terence and Canelo's numbers with ease. Listen, Turkey Al-Rashid went on the Boxing Voice. My friend, I want to tell you something. Could I tell you something? Remember, every second was, could I tell you something? But could I tell you something? Remember, every second he was doing that, right? Turkey Al-Rashid is on record saying that he blocked the fight with Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez. And his logic didn't make any sense whatsoever, right? And this is what I said, right? If Jake Paul had fought Canelo Alvarez, right, and Canelo would have knocked Jake Paul down, stopped him, whatever the case may be, because, there was a time where we were talking about Canelo fighting Badu Jack and going up to like heavyweight and cruiserweight and those weights and fighting people, right? We already fought a light heavyweight, going up to cruiserweights because they thought he had that much skill. So, I mean, him fighting Jake Paul shouldn't be out of the question, even though he slipped a lot, right? He still should be able to handle that. In theory, maybe. I don't know. That's not an absolute fact, right? But with that being said, if he would have went and fought Jake Paul and beat Jake Paul, he could have said, I only did that because I wanted to get him out of boxing. And whatever Canelo does gets cheered, right? You remember Bud didn't have a great resume. And even after he fought Fence, he didn't have a great resume. But the moment he signed to fight Canelo, the Canelo fans were saying his resume is good because they wanted to give Canelo credit if he won the fight. You remember, so they'll justify any opponent of Canelo Alvarez. I've seen it too many times, right? But if Canelo Alvarez would have went and fought this guy and knocked him out, he could have said, look, I told you I'm the savior of boxing. I cleaned up boxing. I got this guy out of here for good. You don't have to worry about him. If he knocks out Jake Paul or even knocks him down, that builds momentum for the Bud Crawford versus Jake Paul fight. That's just how I'm looking at it. I don't see how that fight hurts it. I don't see how it hurts it. But Turkey basically said that if they get that gimmick, they won't care about this gimmick. This is essentially what he said. So many words. If they get that fight, then they'll downplay this fight, which doesn't make sense to me logically if it's not a gimmick, or in his mind, at least a gimmick, right? So Jake Paul still holds a grudge to Turkey Al-Rashid, clearly, right? Because as of now, as of this moment, he's talking about the numbers that Netflix is going to do that's going to outdo the numbers of Terence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, which was a Turkey Al-Rashid event, Dana White promoted, and them kicking off the TKO. So this is a direct shot at that fight.
At the end of the day, when you have an opportunity like this to do the biggest fight, I think all parties align and just make it happen.
Dr. Abi
Two
with
more
World
questions. I'm sorry.
Liberty
Two more
T-
questions.
Go ahead. Dr. Abi with World Liberty TV Boxing Channel. Jake, big fan of yours. Just want to say what you're doing for boxing is phenomenal. You're putting it on the map. What you're doing with the ladies, with the Mike Tyson and UFC.
They'll say this to his face, but then behind his back will write an article how Jake Paul is ruining boxing and the sanctity of it. It's hilarious.
I swing on you right now.
Nobody. And I love you too, Javante. I'm a big fan of yours. But I just wanted to tell this man what he's doing for boxing and putting it on the map, and just want to take my hat off to
Get
you.
the mic from him.
So,
Get the mic from him, for real.
what I want to say is, if you beat
Yo, bro, bro, Jake Paul was right about you, Gervonta Tank Davis. You are mentally weak and you are soft. The mere fact that this guy is giving Jake Paul credit, right? And you want to give Jake Paul credit too because you want to sell it to the public that it's a legitimate fight. The casual fans are watching and listening. And then when a guy or reporter gets up there and starts saying the same things that you've been saying to try to build up the fight, you want his mic taken. Like, you can't make this up. This guy is sensitive, bro. Like, Gervonta Tank Davis needs to be out of the sport. Yeah, I said it. I said it right there. That is the reality of the matter. You know, if it ain't him on Blue Bloods talking about nobody could beat him in the ring, that he the only person that could beat himself. Could we ban that type of talk too? Everybody says the same thing. You know, there's nobody in the world that could beat me. You know, I can only beat myself. And then they end up getting beat in the ring and they got every excuse but themselves. They deflect from themselves. They get beat in the ring. They taking knees. They want to blame hair grease. You get what I'm saying? These boxers are crazy. And then you got a guy up there giving this guy that you're about to fight, promoting the fight for you, telling you the great things about Jake Paul, and then you answer with, can somebody take his mic? No, I'm dead serious. Can't make this up, man.
fan of yours. I just want to say what you're doing for boxing is phenomenal. You're putting it on the map. What you're doing with the ladies, with the Mike Tyson and UFC
I
fighters.
swing on you right now.
Nobody. And I love you too, Javante. I'm a big fan of yours. But I just wanted to tell this man what he's doing for boxing and putting it on the map, and just want to take my hat off to
Get
you.
the mic from him.
So,
Get the mic from him, for real.
what I want to say is, if you beat Tank, you know, people are going to say you beat a smaller man. So what's the victory here?
Man, honestly, people always have something to say. It's old news. Keep talking. At the end of the day, you're here. So whatever anyone has to say, just keep on saying it, please. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
Oscar, can I grab you really quick? 2 seconds.
So I'm gonna skip past Oscar. I don't want to hear what Oscar cokeheaded, but I mean, I gotta say, he picked two
Jake
different.
Paul, the same question to you. What makes you think that you can stop Tank Davis with your lack of experience in the ring?
Okay,
we have
ready.
mics right there in the middle. All we ask is that you come to that mic, make sure you introduce yourself, and ask your question to the fighter.
Oliver Salt for Daily Mail. Javante, a lot of boxing fans aren't happy with the fact you've taken this fight rather than the road rematch, fights with the likes of Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo, etc. What do you make of that reaction? And can we still expect to see those fights?
Why should I care? What they think? When y'all switch somebody can have a bad day and y'all switching on who y'all favorite fighter is or who this person is supposed to fight. Like y'all.
Okay, I mean, basically the same stuff over and over and over. So what I do is I just exit out of that, and you know, I give my synopsis of it. Bola said, "Why you even covering this, Scholar? It's an exhibition. It's boxing, bro, and it's on Netflix, and it's gonna be free for TV. It represents the sport." Bola, I never understood the idea of this purist, you know, sport that, you know, has dignity, bro. They let somebody fight with a brain aneurysm. Like, bro, they let Muhammad Ali box with Parkinson's. The sanctity of boxing never existed. So when people try to stand on invisible business in the sport of boxing, to me, I've never been one of those guys to, you know, look up in the air and, you know, clutch my shirt and be like, oh my gosh, the sanctity of boxing. Like, that's never existed. You know, Butterbean was the first Jake Paul before Jake Paul. The only difference is they didn't have the existence of the internet. But Butterbean, well past his career being over, was an internet sensation. Remember, there was a time they were talking about him fighting Kimbo Slice. You mean to tell me fans weren't gonna line up around the corner to see him and Kimbo Slice fight? That what you telling me? Kimbo Slice. Like, yeah, man, like people definitely were gonna watch that fight, you know, and they were gonna pull up, you know, and buy tickets and, you know, argue with people and do all the stuff that sells the sport of boxing. So, you know, I've never been one of the boxing periods get on my nerves too. You know, by the way, they get on my nerves because they're always talking about the purity of the sport, and it's only pure. It's only they'll look the other way when it comes. Like, for instance, right? A guy jumping up 3 weight classes to go fight Canelo, right? Canelo has been sitting on the Benavidez fight for a long time. Won't defend the mandatories when it's Benavidez, but when it's skull or somebody easy, he'll go take that easy fight and act like, hey, what do you want me to do? I got to keep my belts, you know. And then drags a guy up, you know, Jermell Charlo, 3 weight classes, 2 weight classes, and then does the same thing. Well, 2 weight classes, then Bud 3, right? And then fights him. But then he loses to Terence Crawford, right? And nobody was talking about the sanctity of boxing when he did the same thing that he had already did, right? They made it a 50-50 fight because they wanted to justify Canelo's BS. And that's what they do in the sport of boxing. It's all BS when they don't want to participate in it. But when they participate in it, they will justify to you why they're doing it and why it's not BS. And that's what the sport of boxing has become, right? And I found this out, Bolas, when I went to the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul event, right? Everybody was like, oh my gosh, nobody wants to see this. It's Mike Tyson. And this is what they do. I'd be so fed up with boxing fans. I remember what they say. I have a good memory. I remember everything that they said leading up to the fight. This is what they do. They get a product, and to the public, they will make it seem as if they're too good for the product. I don't know why they're doing this. A whole bunch of hand wringing. Boxing doesn't need this. This gives boxing a black eye. I'm not going to watch it. And then they have an immediate reaction to the fight after it happens. It's like, I thought you wasn't going to watch it. How do you know what happened during the fight? They complain about getting the fight, complain that they're not going to watch it, and they complain that they didn't like watching the fight when it was on. This is boxing fans for you. So with all that being said, I'm definitely going to watch the event. I'm going to cover the event, and I'm going to depend on people being people and boxing fans being boxing fans, because they're going to complain about it all the way up into the fight. We're going to do fight live. I do fight lives. This is the boxing channel. You know what I mean? We've even covered bare knuckle. Bare knuckle ain't got nothing to do with boxing. You know what I mean? I rarely do UFC because I'm not a huge fan of that. All of my UFC favorite fighters have retired, you know? So I'm not a huge fan of UFC, you know, outside of John Jones. But this is a fight channel. We cover fights over here. We're definitely going to cover that exhibition. You know what I mean? You say it don't count. How could you fake punches? There's no way to fake it. This ain't gonna be like you say. You talk about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was knocked out, bro. He was TKO'd. You can't. That's stuff you can't fake. Jake Paul is gonna really put hands on Tank Davis. They're gonna really try to punch him and knock him out and make him a highlight reel. I mean, we're gonna see how that goes. I don't know. I hope it might be a stinker. You know, like I said, giving fair warning, that fight might be a stinker. He might show up to survive and just want to get a paycheck. But at the end of the day, man, yeah, Lyoto Machida. I like Machida. That was the era that I like. John Jones ruined the era. I always say this. They're like, man, don't say that about John Jones. Man, John Jones, man, also Michael Jackson. He took my child. You know, he ruined that division, if I'm going to be honest. He ruined that division for a lot of different reasons. Because the lightweight division was a division that was carrying UFC, and they had a bunch of stars there, and he just went in there and depleted all of them, you know, within 2 years time. Rashad, Rampage, Lyoto, all the guys that were having great fights amongst each other, he just came and just dismantled. Like, remember when Lyoto's body just dropped lifeless to the ground? He just walked off like nothing. That was cold, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that was cold. That was a cold photo and everything. Cold little picture, but it was like, damn, John Jones really wiped out an entire generation. But of fighters. But yeah, I to say this, you know, people gonna show up for this event. You know, and Tank Davis gonna probably use his legs a lot, try to avoid getting hit as much as he can, and you know, hope Jake Paul could run into something. But the distance is gonna be so crazy that I don't know. It's gonna be a stinker of a fight, you know. But the casual fans will show back up because they showed up for Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Then instead of just admitting that it was a man that was close to 60 that was fighting, they said it was scripted. And the same people gonna show up to watch this scripted fight. And that's another thing. This is how you know boxing fans are crazy, right? That's how you know. A lot of the boxing fans are UFC fans as well, right? A lot of them. Not all of them, but a good portion, right? UFC is not competing with boxing, it's more competing with wrestling, right? Wrestling, if you look at the strategy they use, all of that stuff down, they took everything from wrestling, the entire blueprint. The only thing that they took from boxing was the rules, right? Adapting they rules the fighting according to boxing, right? But it's definitely wrestling's competitive. That's why Vince McMahon was mad that Dana White would put his shows on at the same time as Monday Night Raw, because he was like, why would people want to watch fake wrestling when they can watch your real stuff? You know, we're just characters, we're stuntmen. So they had a legitimate beef where they were actually going to fight, you know, him and Vince McMahon. But that's what they compete with, wrestling, not boxing, the UFC. But, damn, I forgot my point, man. I done went all the way into, my God. I done went all the way into, that's crazy work. Damn, I feel like I'm taking punches now. Oh, so that's what I was going to say. I knew it would come back. I'm a damn genius. So, the people who watch UFC will say that Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was scripted, right? And they don't want to show up for scripted stuff, but they support wrestling. Wrestling is scripted. There are still wrestling fans out there. How are y'all complaining about a show that y'all are getting right now with boxing and saying it's scripted, but you'll show up for the real script with wrestling and not complain and cheer? Oh yeah, get Vince McMahon or get this, or whatever the case may be. It's crazy, man. You can't make it up. But I wanted to say this, man. Something just occurred. I got it in the live. I might pop up later on tonight. I dropped the link. Nobody pulled up, man. It's crazy. I can't believe nobody pulled up to sharpen this iron that's up here on the panel. You know, but shout out to V. V said love this channel, you know, and it's always love. Make sure you subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Ray J, go ahead and serenade him. I'll be
Superstar, wish to have a fancy car, wish to have $1 million bucks. Well, I wish I don't be in love. So feel me, pretty baby. I make one wish and I wish it all on you. Making love to the break of dawn, me and you to the baby's born, till my baby's born.